What's up, folks? I'm Dwayne,
I'm Alicia.
and this is Blackboard Gaming, where we teach you about all these great board games that are out there.
Waiting to be played by you and yours.
I'm a simple man, don't wanna complicate complication.
Hey, everybody.
So, there's a lot of great music out there, and we each have our own playlist of songs that we really enjoy listening to on the regular. Like I have my personal set of songs, and I know there's some songs that you really enjoy.
So you know how you might be station surfing in your car, or you might be in the store, and you hear a song.
That you haven't heard in a long time.
But when they start playing, you hear the first chords, you go there.
And you be like, this used to be my jam.
So today, we're going to talk about board games.
Yeah, because I think the same can be said about board games. Because there are so many different board games out there. And there are some games that we like to play a lot on the regular. But like I said, sometimes you see a game, you hear a game mentioned by another content creator, or you go to a board game meetup and you see a game on the table, and you sit there and you just reminisce, and you're like,
that used to be my jam.
So today we're going to talk about 10 games that used to be our jam. Now, we still love these games. It's just, like I said, there's so many games out there, and sometimes we don't think about these games. But then when you see it, you remember when that game was your jam at that time. You played a lot of that game, So Alicia has picked 5 games, and I have picked 5 games, So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and get right into this list. So, Alicia, what's the first game on your list?
So the first game on my list is Kohaku. Now, Kohaku is it's not a tile placement game.
Yeah, it's a tile placement
game.
game.
It's a tile placement game. And
man, that's been a long time since you learned that.
Well, it hasn't been a long time, but so we're in a koi pond, and we're picking different elements to go in our koi pond, and I just love this game because it has set collection, it's pretty, and it really is it's a variety of ways to score. You can score for how many koi fish are in your pond, for how many colors of the same, like for how many frogs you have. There are just a variety of ways to score, and it's a relaxing game.
Let me see, because I didn't know that was on your list, but let me think. You are drafting koi tiles
And
to
you
go
have
into your koi
they
pond.
have to be adjacent.
And there are different ways to score. So you score for there's koi fish that are different colors, and if you put them next to these flowers, you score a certain number of points. And then also the frogs, you said they score for dragonflies that are nearby it, because the frogs eat the dragonflies. And then there are turtles that just score you straight up 5 points, if I remember correctly. And the game is aesthetically appealing.
It's
the
gorgeous.
Table. Yeah.
It's relaxing, and it doesn't get tight the way some other games do. So you always can find a place to put your pieces, and it's just a fun, relaxing, pretty game.
Yeah. So I remember I picked up this game knowing that Alicia was going to like it. But we slept on it. It sat on our shelves for a while until our friends Ryan and Emily, we went in to visit them.
We played it with them.
They played it with them, and we was like, oh man, this game is great.
Yeah.
So I think that game would definitely fit into this category. Okay, my first one is a game that I heard mention of by another content creator. It's called they're called the Nerd Shelves.
Okay.
And they've been doing their top 100 games of all time. And so I've been listening to their list, and they mentioned a game that I remembered, like when I first got my hands on it, I was like, this used to be my jam. And that is Taverns of Te. So Taverns of Te is made by the same guy who designed Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Okay.
And pretty much it's a dice drafting game where you're running your own tavern. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to roll your set of dice, and you're going to put it on the plate, and then you're going to pass it. You're going to draft the dice, and then pass that plate around to the next player. And they're going to draft a dice, and we're going to keep doing that until all the dice have been drafted. And then you're going to use that dice to serve customers. So it also has deck buildings because you're going to the market and you're getting customers or getting upgrades to your tavern, and you're placing dice to serve customers or to hire waitresses and stuff like that. And I mean, when this game was out, I played this game so many times with Deb. You know, I really love this game. And it's running your own tavern. And it has 4 different modules, but I've only played the base. I just stuck with the base because I thought that was enough for me.
Okay.
You know, Taverns of Te. This is a great game. I definitely got to get this back on the table.
All right.
All right, what's your next one?
My next one is one of the first games we played when we started this YouTube channel, and that is Baron Park. Now, Baron Park is a tile placement game where you're basically creating a park for bears.
Yep.
Sort of like a zoo. And
It's a zoo, and I love my bears.
this is a very enjoyable game. And it has a charming art, a charming theme, and it's not too hard for me, even though it requires spatial sense, which is not my strength.
Yeah, this is when I recognize that her spatial sense is challenged.
I have other gifts.
I know, you do, but yeah, spatial sense is not one of them.
Nevertheless, I love this game. And yes, this is a game that I really enjoy at the time, and I still think it's an enjoyable experience.
Now, this is a game that I actually was planning to get back to the table because, you know, my personal board game challenge, we're in the B's. And so Baron Park, it starts with BA. So that's probably one of the next games that we're going to be playing.
Okay.
And I miss it. Even though we've already played it, I definitely want to play it again.
Well, it has been a couple of years since
it's been a few years since we played it.
Okay.
But yeah, and when this game was, when we first got this game, we really played a lot of it. It was really, really fun.
Yes.
So, okay, there's Baron Park. All right, my next one is a game that I think this game is probably the one I played the most of.
Okay.
You know, but I didn't play it with you because you said this game was too stressful for you.
You talking about Fuse?
Fuse.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
you even knew the game.
I'm trying to be relaxed.
Right. Yeah, this game will stress you out because pretty much in Fuse, you are rolling dice. It's a dice chucker, but you're rolling these dice and you're trying to place them on these different cards because you got to defuse these bombs.
Isn't there a timer?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
a timer. I think there's I want to say it's a 2-minute timer, and you're trying to defuse these 20 bombs. But the thing is, you roll in the dice, and you might, some might require you to stack the dice from lowest to highest, or, you know, put them in ascending order, descending order, or whatever. And once you've defused that bomb, you get rid of it, you pick another bomb, you know. And so if you're playing, I play most of the time solo, but if you're playing with multiple players, you get to discuss, hey, I'll take that dice from me, y'all, or whatever, you know. And I mean, this game is stressful. Now, I as you can see, the boxes kind of has this wear and tear because I played a lot of this game. Now, as much as I really enjoy this game, I gotta lower my stress. I'm getting to the age I gotta keep my stress level down, so I have to be careful.
Okay, so see, I got a stressful job, so I don't need it in my recreation.
I'm okay with, but this is a fun game.
Okay.
So when it was, I played so much of the Fuse.
Okay.
All right. What's your next one?
All right. My number 3 is Succulent. Now, Succulent is another game that we played early into this YouTube journey. So it's been a couple of years since we played this game. But it is, so you're basically, each of you are gardeners and you're trying to have the, the garden with having the reputation for having the best garden. And you have a common flower bed, and so each player is able to go get cuttings and water droplets and various items that go into a garden and put them into their greenhouse. And you have cards, project cards, where you're collecting different combinations of
You're
flower
trying to
cuttings.
fulfill those cards.
Yup.
And to get more flower beds, because it's really a plot. It's a common plot.
Yes.
But you have your flower bed, and you put your flower beds out there, and then you collect those cuttings that you've covered up with your flower bed, and then you're using those cuttings to fulfill the project cards.
And
there's also water droplets that if you put enough into your garden, then they'll give you another cutting of that type. So,
and basically they're worth points at the end as well.
yeah, I do remember this one. This game was kind of a little light for me, but Alicia really enjoyed it. So
Y'all see how he throw me under the bus?
what? I mean,
that's why he got his Friday night board game.
but it's a beautiful game though. The game is beautiful. Look at the box art, and I think that's what made me pick it up. And also the theme, I figured that it'd be something you would really like. So I'm glad that this game used to be your jam.
Well, it still is my jam. I just don't get to play it.
All right. So the next game on my list is a game with a really unique thing. It's cooperative, and it's called Roll Camera.
Oh, I remember this.
Now this one is another dice placement game. You're rolling dice, but then you're placing your dice out onto the game board, and you're trying to set up the set for the movie. You're trying to purchase scenes, and you're trying to deal with different problems that can happen.
Yeah, I remember
And the
that.
problems that can happen in this game are so crazy. This game cannot be, like, you might have a problem where all the people get sick, or somebody left the door open and alligators have gotten in on the set. So, and you're trying to you have to place a certain pip values of dice in order to deal with these problems. But then my favorite part of the game is when you get to have meetings.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to have a meeting, like, how we gonna deal, we all have an idea.
How we gonna get rid of these alligators?
Yeah, or no, it'd be some ideas that each player draws, and you get to have a discussion, and then you come to a group consensus of saying, okay, we're gonna do this idea, but then we'll put this idea on the chartboard, and this one we're not gonna even pay attention to.
Yes.
This one. So I really like that. It's just, the art is so quirky.
The game is quirky.
And it's just so much fun. So I really did like
I remember
Roll
that
Camera.
game. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, mind you, if you notice, we haven't been putting any pictures up because we haven't played these games in a while. But I'm gonna leave a link in the description below, the Board Game Geek, so you can check out all these games. So, what's your next one?
Oh. This is a game we played a lot. There used to be a local gaming spot that's since closed called the Loaded Die.
The Loaded Die.
And
yeah.
we used to go, we played this game all the time. The thing that drew me to this game initially was actually the theme, Pioneer Day. So basically, we're on the wagon train and we're traveling west, and we have all of these things that come up against us. Robbers, storms, Indian raids.
The famine, disease and
Yeah.
all that. And so this is another dice placement game. So as you can see, I really like my dice placement and dice chucking.
And you get to recruit people to be on your wagon train to help you. You get so many points for having cattle. It's really thematic, so I love that.
Yeah, because you roll the dice and then everybody drafts their dice. And the dice are different colors. And each color of the dice pertains to the things that can happen to you. So if you don't pick a dice, like a certain color dice, let's say the blue dice, and the blue dice goes to disease, then you place that dice and that makes that track go up. So now we have to make sure we're prepared to deal with that event when it happens, because they're going to happen. So you got wood, you got medicine, you got what else? There's something else that I can't remember the other thing, but you are trying to just be prepared. So and you get to hire people to on your wagon train, and some of these people will give you scoring points at the end of the game. And I mean,
You get to prospect for gold.
yes.
It's just a lot of fun, very thematic, and it's just a very enjoyable game.
Yeah, it is really, really fun game. You know. All right, so my next one is, in my opinion, is one of the most aesthetically appealing and beautiful games in our collection. And I remember when I first got this game, I played it so much. I played it with my grandkids, and I bought them a copy, and that is Dive.
Yeah, I remembered it.
I'm going to show you the back of the box. So Dive is a game where we are racing to get this gem. Like
Is it a
thematically,
pearl?
yeah, it's I don't know if it's a pearl or just a stone or whatever, but
Okay.
thematically, the chieftain of the tribe has thrown this rock out into the water, and you guys are racing to go down to get the rock. The thing is, it's a perception, so that there's these tiles that are clear.
It's a depth perception
Depth perception.
game.
And you are betting on, like, as far as you go down, whether there's going to be sharks or turtles or stuff like that. And then, like, if you bet that there's a shark, you say, nope, there's a shark there, I'm going to avoid that. And so as far as you go down, if you say that there's no shark and there's a shark, then you have to stop, you know. And so the people playing have to be the first to get down. You're traveling further and further down this track. And I mean, this game is so beautiful.
It is pretty.
And when this game was out, I played it so
He did.
much.
He did.
You know?
My issue with the game, it's a very pretty game, but it requires better vision than I have to really enjoy.
Right. Oh, I love Dive. And I think that that's one of the few gems that people that missed out on, you know, because Dive is just a really, once people get past how they scoring or how they placing their bets, you know, to go down. So it's a push your luck aspect.
Yes.
But once people get past that, it's an enjoyable game.
Yes.
Very relaxing. All right, what's your next one?
So my last one is Santa Monica. I love Santa Monica. It's basically about the pier. You're building up your pier, aren't
You're
you?
building up your pier in San Francisco.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. I'm sorry, the name's Santa Monica.
So-
My bad.
And it just you're putting up shops. Wait, are you putting up shops, or you just putting the people out?
No, you're doing the same thing. You're putting up cards, but then you have the cards. You're drafting these cards, and you're placing them in your tableau. And the cards will give you certain amount. They'll give you tourists, or they'll give you residents, or all that. And you placing them out on these cards to score points. You
And
know?
so it's just so much activity in the scenes, movie theaters,
Yeah,
weddings,
movie theaters,
volleyball game on the beach. It's
or
just,
people just chilling on the beach.
yes,
you
it's
know?
just a fun game. A lot of visual activity, not busy, but just if you have a rich
I want to play this game now.
if you have a rich imagination, and I guess it just evokes summertime for me.
Yep.
And that's my favorite season. So yes, this is definitely used to be my jam.
Yeah, so the thing is, what made us think about this, like what gave us that feeling of this used to be our jam, is the fact that the designer also designed the game we just recently played and talked about is Let's Go to Japan.
Oh, really? It's the same
Yeah,
person?
same designer.
Okay. All right.
Let me make sure I'm like my old, yep, there it is, Joshua.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, Santa Monica, beautiful game. That one's never going to leave our collection. It's just so, it does invoke summer, you know. Now, my last one is probably the heaviest one on this list. And you haven't played it. And I think that you have come a long way in your board game journey that you might play this game, because you played another one of his games, and that is Woodcraft.
Okay.
You know, it is Vladimir Suki is the designer, and that is Underwater Cities. You will play. I think you would like this one.
Okay.
I mean, you're building up your underwater city, you know, and I mean, this is a game like, you know, you hear people talk about Terraforming Mars, and then some people compare this to Terraforming Mars. Okay. And I like this one pretty much because of the theme. You know, you're building up your underwater city. It also reminded me of a game that me and Chris used to play all the time called BioShock.
Okay.
You know, and you are playing cards out onto the game board, and then you're doing the action on the card, but you're putting the cards in these different slots. And the slots are have different colors, like yellow, blue, and green, all that. And the thing is, if you play this card at that slot, you get to take the action of the slot and the action on the card.
Okay.
So it's really, really cool. And you're managing resources like kelp. There's kelp, and then there's science. And if I remember correctly, I keep wanting to say steel, but I think it was steel something.
Okay.
You know. But this is, when I first got this game, I played this game so much. And I always did the solo mode. So because I just love the theme. I love the aesthetics. I love building out my underwater city. And so definitely, I'm definitely going to get this one back to the table.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, it's so hard because it's so many different games. I could do this list again. You know, I don't know about you, but I know there's some more games that I'll always get that feeling of that used to be my jam. But it's just so many games out there, so many games that are constantly coming out. So it's hard to like really remember you know, all these games.
It's not hard for me to remember. It's just hard to find time to actually get them to the table.
Yep. But then when you see them, you see somebody else playing them, and it just takes you back. And you just sit there like, I want to play this game. You know, that used to be my jam. So, I hope you really, really enjoyed this video. Now, in the comments below, let us know what games used to be your jam. You know, and we are interested in hearing what those games are. All right, so if you like the contents of this video, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And I'm Dwayne.
I'm Alicia.
This has been Blackboard Gaming.
We will see you next time.